everyone, feel free to drop off if you want, but I'm going to talk a little bit more about energy. With the benefit of 2023 energy data, which is now available thanks to the Energy Institute's recent publication of the Statistical Review of World Energy, I want to take a moment as we close to provide an update on the so-called energy transition. The Energy Institute's work to quantify global primary energy is quite valuable to all energy nerds like us at Liberty. However, we make two important adjustments to the Energy Institute's number within our Bettering Human Lives report. First, the EI does not account for developing country use of traditional biomass in their primary energy numbers. This traditional biomass energy is the source of the world's largest energy problem. Hence, we believe it is critical to always include this in all the energy reporting. Traditional biomass serves as a cooking and heating fuel for 2.3 billion of our fellow humans. They suffer in grinding poverty. Our Bettering Human Lives Foundation works to help these 2.3 billion people transition to clean cooking fuels to allow longer, healthier, more opportunity-rich lives. That is a real energy transition that we need to hasten as quickly as possible. You can't eradicate what you don't attempt to measure. Second, the EI employs an input equivalent methodology that grossly inflates the primary energy from electricity produced by wind, solar, hydro, and nuclear. They multiply it by 2.4 times in their conversion of terawatt hours to exajoules. We reverse this adjustment and simply convert reported terawatt hours to energy equivalent exajoules, which is the actual energy delivered to and consumed by consumers. We discuss this more in the Bettering Human Lives report. But for us, it's critical to be honest in the reporting on energy, on climate change, and human progress. Incidentally, the U.S. Energy Information Agency recently reversed its long-standing practice of using an input equivalent methodology and is now in step with us in its reporting. Nice to see the U.S. EIA make this change. So with those adjustments, corrections, we find that over the past 50 years, global primary energy consumption has more than doubled. It's up 126%, and we've seen a 1.6 compound annual growth rate in energy consumption over the last 50 years. Energy additions from hydrocarbons over that 50 years are nearly 6 times higher than all other energy sources combined. Hydrocarbon share of primary energy was 85% 50 years ago, and it's 85% today. Since the start of this century, global primary energy consumption is up nearly 50%, or a slightly higher 1.7% compound annual growth rate. Thanks to the American shale revolution, energy additions from fossil fuels are over 7 times greater than all other energy sources combined during the last 24 years. Hydrocarbon share of primary energy, their share of primary energy increased by 1.4%, back up to the 85% of 50 years ago. We look at just the last year, global primary energy consumption increased by 1.6% in line with trends. Energy additions from hydrocarbons were nearly 4 times higher than all other energy source combined. Oil was the largest addition by source, and coal was second over just the last year. Natural gas has been the biggest over the last decade or so. Hydrocarbons remain at 85% of primary energy. Wind and solar combined for a share of 2.6% of primary energy last year. I will close with a plea yet again to all my colleagues in the industry, particularly the analysts and bankers, to stop using the deceptive and destructive term energy transition. First, because it is simply wrong. The share of hydrocarbons in the global energy supply stack has not shrunk in 50 years. In fact, hydrocarbons have actually grown their market share over the last 24 years. Yet the incessant repeating of the simply false term energy transition contributes to a serious misunderstanding of the global energy system with destructive consequences, including damaging political energy policies, seriously misinforming kids in our schools, and most relevant for today's audience, it has perhaps driven down investor valuation of hydrocarbon companies due to the impression that our industry is soon fading away, even though the numbers do not support this view. Energy is far too important to get wrong. 7 billion people are striving to achieve highly energized lives, just like us in the lucky 1 billion. Let's not use deceptively destructive language that impedes them realizing their dreams of affordable, reliable energy access. We should all strive to speak accurately and honestly. We need to stop using the false term energy transition and instead use energy addition. We would also be better served not to use the deceptive marketing terms renewable and clean energy, as they're also not supported by facts. How about new energies or alternative energies, the term that we used before we got off track? Have a great day, everyone.